ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
No guessing, just catching. New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
It's over, Johnny and Jenny. Winter show season has officially come to an end for our New Jersey edition team. The New Jersey Saltwater Fishing Expo in Edison this past weekend saw record numbers of attendees, the biggest lineup of exhibitors ever. And from what I and others would gather as we walked out of there on Sunday afternoon, is that it was pretty optimistic, a pretty optimistic precursor to what should be an outstanding fishing season for 2025 here at the Jersey Shore. I'm Jim Hutchinson with a New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. It's Thursday, March 20th, the first day of spring. And time for me to focus on some very important things in my life now that winter show season is over. Perhaps reacquaint myself with my wife since I've been gone most weekends this season. Sure, but just as important is giving some attention to the other woman in my life. The one who likes it when I paint her bottom, when I wax her hull. The one who likes it when I leave her tied up along the Beaver Dam Creek. Yeah, it's boat time. I got to get working. It's sitting in the driveway. It's got to get done. And as I said in last week's video, talking about the full moon, the next big lunar event at this point is the pink moon on April 12th. In Native American cultures, that's typically referred to as the egg moon or the fish moon. That's the movement of fish. And where I am in the upper stretches of the Barnegat Bay, April 12th is what's circled on my calendar because I'm hoping that's when the cinder worm spawn will begin, because that's when those stripers are in the back rolling on those cinder worms. Incredible time of year. Now, this past Friday's full moon, as I had talked about last week, was also a worm event. The worm moon, more specifically, the bloodworm moon. It was referred to by the Algonquin people as the eagle moon, and if the eagles are around, of course, that must mean there's bait. Schools of bunker are in and around the area, getting reports in Raritan Bay, some areas up the rivers there, in the Delaware Bay, in the back of Barnegat Bay as well. So we also saw last week gannets diving along the coast off of Sandy Hook, off of many stretches at the Jersey Shore, which means the herring are in at this point. And we did get our first shad reported on Friday, this past Friday's full moon. So before you know it, we're going to hear the chirping of the ospreys and the laughing of those black-headed laughing gulls. That's the true sign that things are shaping up the way they're supposed to be. These are the natural signs. They're very important. Bait movement often triggered by the lunar events, and it's why these sights and sounds become key to identifying the waves of action through the spring, the summer, and the fall months. Coming out of the Edison complex the other night, Friday night, heard my first spring peepers. So you hear those frogs and you know that this is definitely the time of transition. It was funny because if you were sitting in on the panel discussion on Friday night, the panelists on Surf Night, I was the moderator, there at the Saltwater Fishing Expo, they were debating the effects of the moon on fishing, and especially the Long Island guys were like, oh, I just find some areas where there's not a lot of moving water. I was like, that wasn't really the point. It does have a huge impact on the bait migrations and the movements, especially now that we're dealing with bunker, herring, and shad. So yeah, that big bright ball in the sky, it throws a massive flow of water around, so your fishing conditions will change. But again, that is the movement of this transition time. Case in point, perhaps the biggest surprise of this young 25 season. I was calling around the tackle shops on Monday doing our fishing reports for thefisherman.com soon after getting back from the Saltwater Fishing Expo. Lo and behold, the crew at Julian's Bait and Tackle, I spoke to Jay. He said he sold some sabiki rigs and frozen squid to a couple of kids who had come into the shop. They wanted to go fish on the Atlantic Highlands fishing pier over the weekend. Well, the young bucks apparently returned to the shop for more gear because, according to them, they were catching small bluefish down by the harbor. Now, anybody can call bull if they would like, but I prefer to go to the respectful route and refer to this as an unconfirmed report. Could the blues have arrived? Honestly, it would be a few weeks early. I think typically those racers come in January or in April on the moon, and I expect they will be here at that time, but who knows? Maybe the first bluefish reports have come from the north coast of the Jersey Shore. Winter flounder, those reports are starting to come in a little bit thicker than the trickle we've had in the last couple of weeks. I spoke to Tim at Fisherman's Den on Monday. He said a few guys have been fishing from the bulkheads with bloodworms and clams and have reported winter flounder to 16 inches. Now I asked Tim, and he said these guys weren't necessarily chumming, but what they're doing is using a combination of worms and clams, and the bits of clams they kind of roll up in sand because that gets it down to the bottom and disperses it a little bit. So I think the chum logs and guys working on those piers, you can still chum right from there. That would probably bring the winter flounder in a little thicker. Manny Butera is out and about looking for striped bass this time of year. He said things have been tough on the Toms River, and I think those fish are in, then they're out. They're going out into the bay proper. Sometimes they're on the feed, sometimes they're not. But he did get this keeper winter flounder that must have turned and burned on the circle hook that he was using for rigging up. Now, Frank at Gabriel Tackle and Brick also had a few reports of winter flounder in Shark River, Barnegat Bay, perhaps the Maniloking Bridge area. He was sharing this photo of Dylan Gollum with a soon-to-be flounder sandwich. Now, if you'd like to try your hand at terra firma winter flounder action, actually, whether you boat or bank, you can do the same thing. You go to thefisherman.com, you hit the species tab up top, and then you scroll down to winter flounder. But in terms of fishing from shore, take a look at the 2017 article by Ed Masunas. It's called Winter Flounder, a Shore Thing. It's a great little instructional piece about gearing up for blackbacks on the back bulkheads, think Barnegat Bay, in terms of shaking the frost for the winter season. Striper reports in the Garden State with our Pocono Outdoors Guys report as well. In this week's video, I also have some instructional video from Adam Aguiar on the blood bag when you're fishing the Delaware. But first, let's head back to this weekend's Saltwater Fishing Expo with Jenni Ackerman. Meet a few members of the Fisherman family talking about their goals for the 2025 season.
So we're here at the Fisherman magazine booth at the New Jersey Saltwater Expo. I am losing my voice once again. Thank you. I'm doing a great job. But I'm asking you guys what your goals are for the 2025 season. My goal personally is to catch as many species as I can. I'm up to 6 right now, so let's keep it going and let's talk to you guys.
Hi, I'm Sue Bovan, wife of Rick Marquisia, and my 2025 fishing resolution is to catch a weak fish.
I'm picking up some new Zax rods here at the show. Can't wait to put them to use. Hopefully break the PB striper this year.
My goal 2025 is to definitely catch more striped bass and more fluke. I want to do some kayak fishing. I want to get down to the inlet, and also, very specifically, I want to catch my first tuna fish. I want to go on a charter boat. I don't have a boat big enough, but I want to get out there. Heard they're coming in closer, so I want to get out there and catch a tuna.
Captain Jim Frieda, short catch with my first mate, Elio Scarpa, right here. And glad to come to you and tell you about our goals for this upcoming season. What about you, Elio? What do you got for a fishing goal?
My goal this year is to catch more tunas.
Yeah, more tuna. That's a good one.
What about you, Jim?
My goal is to put as many clients as we can on their first tuna. Top water, that way. Hopper or stick bait or jigging, it doesn't matter. First tuna. Everybody's so excited every time they get their first tuna. And it is something that just we really enjoy doing. And teaching everybody what to do and how to do it, and that's what we like to do. Educate, teach, show them what to do, and then go out and get some more.
All right, we're here with Chris, and he's going to tell us what his goal is for 2025.
All right, so this past year, the striper fishing was a little bit on a decline out of the surf, and in the back bay was pretty good in the early season, but it kind of branched off and teetered because the schools of bunker weren't staying mainly onshore. So this year, the goal is to get a 40-plus pound bass.
Heck yeah! That was, dude, do you want a job? That was a really good report. Look, we gotta go talk to Jim. Let's go talk to Jim.
Jim Hutchinson at the Fisherman magazine, and like a lot of viewers and subscribers and anglers in New Jersey, I have a goal of my first double-digit fluke. I have fluke fished since I was a kid with my father, and that is really has been my goal just about every year. That's one goal, but the serious goal, and I mentioned my father, last year, 2024, I spent the opening day with my father fishing. That is my goal this year, is to fish with my father on opening day, summer flounder, in New Jersey. And Dad, I hope that we can get together and fish a lot this year, because that to me is more important than anything.
I'm Captain Frank Crescitelli. My goal, my fishing goal for 2025 is to make the Manhattan Cup even larger and better than ever. 24th year, we're looking forward to the best ever. And if I could possibly win a trophy in that tournament, I'd be very happy.
We're here with some familiar faces, Gianna and Danny. You may have seen them in the Future of Fishing video where they outfished me fluking, and they're going to share their goals for the 2025 fishing season.
My 2025 fishing goal is to go fishing a lot more this summer.
Thursday.
My 2025 fishing goal is to catch a fish bigger than me.
Heck yeah. We're going to make it happen this year. We're going to go fishing again. Give me high fives. Awesome.
So my goals for 225, well, I guess put my customers on the fish, stay healthy. As far as big fish goes, you know, if I can get into some big fish, I would love to catch multiple 40-pound fish this year, not just one or two. Something over 50, maybe a world record. That would be nice. If I get the opportunity to fish for world records, that's a good goal. Spend a lot of time with my kids at the same time and try to manipulate all my fishing time with my family time. I think that's my main goals.
On my new reel, catch a big striper. So my fishing goals for this year is to catch a 10-pound mutton, like a 60-pound snelly, and yeah, 10-pound fluke. Yeah.
Give me a fist bump. Wait, you gotta do the...
Oh.
You're lame, Josh.
When I'm older, I want to be a fisherwoman and outfish everybody.
So remember how my goal was to catch as many fish as I can? I'm going to show you guys a company, they're good friends of mine, that can help me accomplish this goal. So we're going to pan here, Q8 Super Bait. Check these out. You can use these for fluke, for sea bass, for freshwater fish. They have it all.
How's it going? It's Cameron here with Tackle Box and Buds and Bass. And our goals for this season are to catch more fish and have more fun.
2025 goal is to make sure that I am in a Fisherman magazine YouTube video. So check.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and my 2025 fishing goal is to catch more striped bass.
Hi, Carol. My goal this year in 2025 is to become a really good surf fisherman for fluke. Had a rough year last year with the South Cold Waters, but Jenny gave me some tips, and I'm going to do it really well this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Tom Daffin from the Fishing Fever. We're here at the Jigging World booth at the Saltwater Fishing Expo. We're hoping to have a really good year this year. We're hoping that tuna fishing is really good. It seems like, you know, we're starting to get some water that looks like it's going to flow. We're looking at the sat shots and all this year. It looks like we're going to actually get possibly a really good fishery out of it this year. And, you know, we're going to start off our black fishing in April, go into our black drum, deep water fluking, and we always do tile fishing and deep dock sword fishing too. So we're really looking forward to having a great 2025 season.
Carl Johansson. I'm going to hit some tournaments this year and get some big fluke, make some money. That's my goal.
My goals for 2025 is number 1, to catch a bluefin from the kayak, and number 2, catch bigger fish than Ray Carrico, which won't be hard.
My goal for 2025 is to not kill Scott.
What a sore loser.
My name's Mike, and my goal for the 2025 season is to show Matt how to fish.
I'm Matt. My goal for the season is to catch a fish.
Hello, my name is Lucas, and today my 2025 fishing goal this year is to catch some bluefin tuna.
Heck yeah.
The bass are already here. If you're not worm balling, you're not catching.
All right, so my goal for the 2025 spring season is probably going to get
a 50-pound striper. That might have to be it. And then second would be like a 10-pound fluke. That would be my goals for this spring, for this season.
Heck yeah.
My goal for 2025 season is to get larger and more aggressive fluke. Terry fished with me for the first time and she got a 19-inch. So she's ready for the 2025s.
Hello guys, my name is Robert Presley. My 2025 fishing goal is trying to catch my first bluefin tuna. I caught over a 50 bass, 51, and I'm trying to get my next goal tuna. Thank you guys.
We're here with one of our new subscribers to the Fisherman magazine, Cooper, who has won a subscription thanks to Delaware Tackle, trying to get more kids out there reading and more kids fishing. You're gonna outfish me soon, right, Coop?
Yeah.
And Cooper is gonna share his resolution for the 2025 fishing season.
I want to catch every single fish in Lake Trail.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna see those reports soon, right?
Yeah.
Give me a high five. Slap hands, slap hands. Good job.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Congratulations to James Cermick of Waretown, winner of the Weekend Sterling Prize Package. Our Quantum Reel winners have also been contacted based on this past Weekend Saltwater Fishing Expo. Again, thanks for stopping by the booth, subscribing, and sharing a few tips, stories, tactics, reports, and some of those fishing photos. Let me go into this real quick because during the show season, I got to thank a couple of people. Anthony, Mike, and Tom each stopped at the Fisherman booths, dropped off a bunch of flies as they do every year. I am stocked for the season ahead. Got some casting flies, put them in my jig box here. This one was really cool. Well, the shrimp fly was pretty neat, but this was pretty neat as well. Not necessarily a fly, but a sea robin imitation. So guys, thank you very much for that. Tom Seats added another piece of art from my wall because he gave me the South Jetty piece a few years ago. And this one, I believe it's like 6th or 7th Street in Barnegat Light, a very special place for me. So that'll go right next to the South Jetty. Thank you for that, Tom. Some other people dropping off stickers and pastries at the show. I got to thank Captain Bob Bolger for my brand new Phillies hat as well. One other group of folks that I met over the weekend was Adam and Joe from Mai Tai Tackle, who stopped off at the booth and showed me some of their Mai Tai rigs. These Mai Tai rigs you'll find in many of the shops. Now, in recent segments, I've talked about the bait holder style hook for holding bloodworms in place this time of year, talking about Eagle Claw and the Z-Blade from Jigging World. But the guys from Mai Tai said, hey, we're getting our hooks sent overseas and getting them done. So you can look for the Mai Tai rigs as well in your local tackle shop. Mai Tai Bay and River rigs. They've got the bait holder barbs on the shank. They're available in 5/0 singles, and they've also got the pill floats, the high lows. So if you're looking for those, so it's great to see that folks are getting their bait holder style rigs in place because it's been a long hold on that, long hoe. On that one. Now, bloodworms are getting it done right now. Sure, you can throw this off plastics, the Kitex, the Happy Baits, the old Kettle Creeks, and also the smaller plugs like the Rapala X-Wraps. But we're just about the time where you're going to start upsizing a little bit as well as the waters start to warm a little bit more. Think the SP minnows and such. But much of this action right now involves toting your bait and tackle in a bucket out to the sod banks or sedges, sitting down on top of the bucket or maybe a foldable chair and sitting back with family and friends waiting for a score. Photo of the week for me here this week comes from John Kern, who had a special day last week soaking bloods with his 4-year-old Luke Kern. That is Luke's very first striped bass taken somewhere along the Great Egg River where John told me things are really starting to pick up. John said of this one, quote, "I think he's hooked for life on fishing." Thumbs up to you as well, Luke. Well done on that fish. And beware of the Ides or tides of March. Jimmy Dowd reported in on Saturday during a cold, foggy session behind Island Beach, said water temperatures were 46 degrees, but he got one on the fly using an old bamboo fly rod of his. Pretty cool. A quick ocean water temperature check out of Atlantic City Wednesday morning, roughly 3 hours before high tide, 44.4 degrees. Air temp was about 45 degrees at that moment when I did the water temperature check. With a few more days with highs in the 50s, things should really be looking up striper-wise as we continue to approach that 50-degree magic mark. I really think 50 degrees is about magic. 50 to 55 degrees, and it's game on for all stripers in those migratory run. I think we're still seeing mostly winter over, holdover fish in those back rivers, although I expect some of those early arrivers up the Delaware River right now are probably some of those ocean run fish that are getting ready to move up the Delaware to spawn. Now, my man, Dr. Adam Aguiar, sent a great instructional video of how he makes and stores his blood bags. Those are the bloodworm bags. They're good for you tournament anglers on the Delaware River next week. Also, I've got a striped bass seminar to tell you about in Monmouth County. But first, we have had the very first reports of shad along the Delaware. I think I was tallying things up on Friday at the Saltwater Expo when Kevin Ingram stopped by. He goes, first shad at Yardley. So that was really good news. Also, Dieter Scheel had one to show off on St. Patty's Day, the Delaware River fishing guide. John from Old School Outdoors said guys are trying their hand at stripers along the shore on the Delaware up as far as Trenton. But I figured for more on a tri-state regional freshwater action, the best guy to check out with is George Schauer, who's reporting from Dunkelberger's out in the Poconos.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim, and happy spring to everybody. It's finally here. And you know what? The fish are certainly telling that tale as well. Starting with the shad report, I know last week we were talking a little bit about the shad were probably in the river, but they just weren't quite biting. Well, this week, just as expected, we started getting guys saying they got a few shad on the boat. So it's not a whole lot, guys. It isn't a full-blown shad run yet, but the next week or two, I think, is going to tell that story. Water, we still have a lot of clarity problems in the water, a lot of debris coming down yet, so it could be difficult for the next couple days, but I think over the next week, we'll start seeing a lot of guys report in some great shad catches. But one thing they're not having a problem with, guys, is the smallmouth bite. It is on fire. Guys from river to river and a few places in between have been catching and reporting in with a couple of great fish. Tom Lawrence was fishing up the Delaware Water Gap on the Jersey side, and he managed to get himself a couple really beastie smallmouth as well. Actually, he was fishing a shad rap number 7, so that was getting the job done for him. Sam Martucci out on my home lake of Beltsville, well, he was out deep shotting and deep drop shotting and getting himself on a couple of real nice smallmouth too. He said he was down at about 26 feet of water, and that was getting the job done for him. Also, Will Schultz up on the North Branch, he was out fishing for some smallmouth and a couple of great catches for him as well. So some really good fishing, guys. Let's get out over the next week. You know, as spring is here now, weather's going to be improving, conditions will be improving, and a lot more fish to catch. Go get out and get on them. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
In the famed waters of Panama awaits a fishing experience like no other. Tropic Star Lodge welcomes anglers to get in on world-famous fishing action. Plan your perfect trip today. Tropic Star Lodge, the ultimate in fishing adventures for more than 60 years.
A reminder that most trout-stocked waters in New Jersey, most every one of them, there are a couple of exceptions, they closed as of Monday for the trout stocking that's going to continue right up until 8 a.m. April 5th. April 5th at 8 a.m., that's when all those trout-stocked waters will reopen again, the opening day of trout. We'll talk more about that next week as we work our way towards the opener. But I will tell you this, next week we have a complete 2025 stock report and forecast coming to you in the April edition of the Fisherman magazine. Now, the Strathmere Fishing and Environmental Club is hosting their first ever open house and fishing learning event this Saturday, March 22nd at 5 p.m. There's a general membership meeting first, with potential new members being considered, and then the club lays out the 2025 season. It's a great club if you're looking for one. The Strathmere Fishing and Environmental Club down in Cape May County. Now to the north, next week, Tuesday, March 25th, from 7 till 9 p.m., the Manasquan High School and Manasquan Elementary School fishing clubs are presenting a night of striped bass talks, seminars with captains Jim Frieda and Eric Clark, as well as Eric Wisniewski. The event will be held at the Jack Nicholson Theater in Manasquan High School, 167 Broad Street, Manasquan. Free entry, door prizes. That's Jack Nicholson's alma mater, believe it or not. If you want some more details on that Tuesday night event, March 25th, email Wisniewski, W-A-S-N-E-S-K-Y, at manasquan.k12.nj.us for details. Also, starting Saturday, running through the following Sunday, March 30th, Greenhorn Outdoors in Pennsville will be holding their third annual Striper Tournament in honor of the late Quentin Weigel. Entry is $25 per person. You can get the details out there at the shop in Pennsville. It's a slot tournament, 28 to 31-inch fish by boat or land in the Delaware Bay and the Delaware River. Give them a call, 856-759-4166. And of course, those guys out on the Delaware River fishing for striped bass, in the next several weeks and month, a lot of small critters will make a mess out of those pricey bloodworms, especially as the water temperatures continue to rise. Think white perch. That's why a lot of the Delaware River guys use blood bags when presenting their baits for hungry stripers. The bloodworm bag, the blood bag, it's been spotlighted previously in the Fisherman magazine. It's a popular tool, pun intended, because it does use that fabric called tulle. You'll find at a lot of craft shops. For folks who fish bloodworms on the Delaware River, you'll probably appreciate this, and anybody else who's along the Great Egg or the Mullica or even the Raritan Bay Shore as well. Dr. Cool, he tells me, quote, video is detailed and clean, and surprisingly, there's no cursing, and with a little touch of teen spirit in the back. So if you're looking for your own striper nirvana, enjoy this instructional video from Dr. Adam Aguiar at Stockton University, who you'll find more of next week when we go to print with the April edition of the Fisherman magazine. I'll have all the details next week. Enjoy, catch them up, and I'll see you next week right here at thefisherman.com.
So this is the end product of the worms. I'll show you in a second. You want to keep them hydrated with that seaweed stuff. But let me just show you how to get each bag done. All right, I'm just going to give you one example. So here's the tool, red. Fold it about this size so it's doubled up, okay? I already have my noose ready with the clinch knot on this line over here. It's got to be really light line or clam tie. Then you go into the worm box, pull out 2. Sometimes I do 3. Put them in your hand like this, crunch them up into that ball, do some twists like this. Take the noose, put it around the bag neck, pull it tight, it cinches. Take scissors, cut the neck of the tool off. Take clippers, because the scissors don't do this part justice. And you cut the tag end off where the knot is. And then just for extra security, because I'm anal, I do a hitch, I guess it's a half hitch, twice. Like so, to super secure it. Flip the line, there's your finished bag, and then in here are all the other bags that you keep moist on the little nest of seaweed.